Hi, welcome to this Corbettmaths video. In this video we're going to look at how to find the perimeter of a quarter circle. So here we've got a quarter circle and we've got the radius and another radius, a 90-degree angle between them and the arc joining them, and we're told that the distance from the centre of the circle to the edge, the radius, is 5 centimetres. And we've been asked to find the perimeter of this quarter circle, and we're going to give our answer to 2 decimal places. So before you watch this video, I'd highly recommend you watch the video on circumference on Corbettmaths. It goes through how to find the circumference, the distance around the outside of a whole circle. In this video, we're going to focus on a quarter circle. So to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to find the circumference of the whole circle. So we're going to pretend it's a whole circle. So like so. We do pi times diameter, and that gives us the circumference of the whole circle. And then if we divide it by 4, we'll get the distance from here to here, the length of this arc. Then we can just add on the radius and the other radius, and then that will give us the perimeter of the quarter circle. So let's consider the circumference of the whole circle to begin with. So if the radius is 5 centimeters, the diameter, the whole way across this circle, will be 10 centimeters. So we're going to do the circumference is equal to pi times diameter. So it's going to be pi times 10. And whenever we do pi times 10, that's equal to 10 pi, or 31.4159 and so on centimeters. So that's the distance the whole way around the circle. But we just want to find the perimeter of this quarter circle. So we just want to find out a quarter of that whole distance. So we're going to take our 31.4159 and so on, and we're going to divide it by 4. Or you could take 10 pi and divide it by 4. And we'll divide by 4, and that's equal to 2.5 pi, or 7.85398 and so on centimeters. So that is the distance from here to here. So that's the distance going around that part of the quarter circle, the length of the arc. So that length is equal to 7.85398 and so on centimeters. So that's the length of that arc. Now we want to find the perimeter of the quarter circle. So we want to find the whole distance around the outside of the quarter circle. So it's going to be from here to here is 5 centimeters, and then another 5 centimeters, and then our 7.85 and so on centimeters going round from here to here. So if we add those up, we will get the perimeter of the quarter circle. So 5 plus 7.85398 and so on, and that's equal to 17.8539 and so on centimeters. But the question does say to give our answer to 2 decimal places, so that would be equal to 17.85 centimeters to 2 decimal places. So that's it. So the perimeter of this quarter circle is 17.85 centimeters to 2 decimal places. And just to recap, to find the perimeter of a quarter circle, you imagine it's a whole circle. You then do pi times diameter to get the circumference of the whole circle. Divide that by 4 to get the length of the arc, and then add on the radius and the other radius, and that will give you the perimeter of the quarter circle. Okay, let's have a look at a non-calculator question now. So here's a non-calculator question, and we've been given a quarter circle, and we've been asked to find its perimeter and to give our answer in terms of pi. So that's our hint it's a non-calculator question, because we're given our answer in terms of pi. So let's turn our quarter circle into a whole circle. So it looks something like this. And we want to find the perimeter of this quarter circle. So we know it's going to be 8 centimeters and 8 centimeters, but we need to find the length of this arc, the quarter of the whole circumference. So let's find the circumference of the whole circle. So the circumference is equal to pi times diameter. And the diameter of the whole circle, well, the radius is 8 and another 8. So 8 plus 8 is equal to 16. So the diameter of the whole circle is 16 centimeters. So we're going to do pi times 16 to get the circumference of the whole circle. Pi times 16 is equal to 16 pi. So that is the circumference of the whole circle. Now we just want this part from here around to here. So what we're going to do is that's a quarter of the whole circle. So we're going to divide 16 pi by 4. So 16 pi divided by 4 is equal to 4 pi. So that distance from here around to here would be 4 pi centimeters. So we know the length of the arc is equal to 4 pi. So let's find the perimeter of this quarter circle. So let's start here. From here around to here would be 4 pi. Then we're going to add 8, because that's the radius of the circle, and another 8. So let's write that down. 4 pi plus 8 plus 8. And 8 plus 8 is 16, so that would be equal to 4 pi plus 16. And we wouldn't add our 4 pi and our 16 because that's 4 times pi. That's an irrational number. And then we're adding 16. So the answer would be 4 pi plus 16 centimeters. And that's it. That's our answer in terms of pi. 4 pi plus 16 centimeters. Okay, and that's it. So to find the perimeter of a quarter circle, imagine it's a whole circle. Do pi times diameter to get the circumference of the whole circle. Divide that by 4 to get the length of the arc, and then make sure that you add on the 2 radii. And that's it. I really hope you found this video useful. If you have found it useful, please like it, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, and thanks so much. Cheers, bye.